Bank of America. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Anuradha, and I work with Bank of America in Hyderabad. And myself, Saraswati, are co-directors of Women Who Code Hyderabad chapter and present here. I have pleasure of welcoming my long-held friend, Anuradha Amudalapalli. She worked in Infosys when I wasn't in Infosys, but she worked with me in Capgemini and moved on to IBM where I had worked before. So we have, worked together as well as have a great following of friends who are common. So it's a pleasure to know her, and she's so active, great runner. She's been in quality and manufacturing industry and testing, and there's so many varied fields that she has covered. And currently, she's executive partner at IBM and handles global quality function. So Anuradha, without much ado, I will just start out the presentation and give a quick brief of Women Who Code, and then hand it over to you soon. So is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. So I will just go in full projection. And Richa, I will appreciate if you could take some, Saraswati and Richa, if you could take some pics, it'll be really nice. So Anu would be talking today about 5 steps to driving agility through innovation. Just talking briefly about Women Who Code, our mission is to inspire women to excel in technology careers. Our vision is to see a world where diverse women are better represented as engineers and tech leaders. And there's often a misconception that women are more in support functions, etc. But we want to see women who are, the best of the world, best in the world in the engineering and tech disciplines. Code of conduct. We are an inclusive community dedicated to providing an empowering experience for everyone who participates in or supports our community, regardless of gender, gender identity, expression, sexual orientation, ability, physical appearance, body size, race, ethnicity, age, religion, socioeconomic status, caste, creed, political affiliation, or preferred programming languages. So please do check Code of Conduct of Women Who Code, and any misconduct can be reported. So today we are on 5 steps to drive agility through innovation, and Anu is our speaker today. Thanks for signing up for this. What we want to do, the impact we want to create, we want to upskill and cross-skill women. We are just going to announce return to work program. Saraswati Narayan, who is our co-director here, she's spearheading that program as Women in Technology within Bank of America, and wants to create something which will provide further more career opportunities for women who have taken a break. So we have been actively running early career programs for women who want to get career advice, technical mentoring, etc. And what you see right now is a senior, mid-senior career women program where you can see all senior leaders in the industry being featured. So we have had pleasure of hosting Ramadevi Lanka, then Nivedita Agarwal, and today we have Anuradha. We'll have more series to come. That our team defines our community. So you see that we want focus in technology, in innovation, and in leadership, all 3 tracks. If you look at the various tracks today, the technologies which are popular, whether in front end, mobile, Python, blockchain, and cloud, we have focused on all these. And various tracks we want to create using our a very well nurtured volunteer community across centers. But we are a new chapter in Hyderabad. We really appreciate your support and help grow this community. So today, what you're seeing here is panel, fireside chat, lightning talks, kind of senior leadership panel. We just completed on June 10th, 11th, a global Connect Reimagine 2021 event, which is our annual event this year held online. So Women Who Code is celebrating 290,000 members worldwide. We are not just a global community. Women Who Code resources can be accessed anywhere in the world. So you see, once you sign up on the meetup page, you can actually have access to any of the chapters of Women Who Code in the country, or in fact in the world. Now coming to Anu and starting out with her talk. And topic of her talk is 5 steps to driving agility through innovation. So Anu, to start out, how you see agility as a catalyst to innovation?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Anu.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much, first of all, Renu and Women Who Code for inviting me for this session. So it's my pleasure to join this. And definitely I'm a passionate woman myself, and definitely I coded at one point of time and moved up and handled multiple senior leadership positions. Thank you for inviting me for this. So on this topic, again, this is very close to my heart, the concept of agility and the concept of innovation, right? So both of them actually are linked, as you're aware, right? So you can actually achieve innovation only through agility, right? So, and with the rapid technology disruption and the world around us really evolving so much, right? Without innovation, without continuous innovation, that's what I would say is important. I mean, for all of us, without that, we will not stay relevant, right? So, and it is true for all of us as well, right? Whether whichever roles you're playing, how agile we are, how innovative we are, is very, very critical, right? For our own relevance and our own sustenance in this IT organization. It's not about genders. It's more about our own credibility we bring into the table, right? And definitely agility is a key catalyst for innovation and success. So what does it mean? Constantly new ideas, new products, new solutions, and new processes also maybe coming in, right? So that it's very competitive and differentiated towards clients' business outcomes, right? It's not about us, but it's about how do we actually help the client drive their business outcomes. And agility, as you know, is about the ability to think out of the box, move quickly and kind of easily implement ideas in an iterative fashion, so that we can reduce maybe end-to-end life cycle time, or it can be bringing in new features quickly on board, maybe enhance the user experience. I mean, we have multiple examples of it, right? I mean, Netflix is a classic example where they have a release every hour, right? So and then Google has moved, and within weeks they give a release, Google Chrome, and we have multiple such examples where agility is the key driver, for their innovation. And the concept of agility itself has changed over time, right? What we thought, no, I mean, 3-month cycle, 6-month releases, that used to be, like agile for us during my time when I used to be a developer or a tester that time. Yeah, I mean, we used to strive towards a 6-monthly release, and that itself was a big pain for us. But now it is hours and weeks, right? So basically that definition has changed, and the operating models have changed, and with the challenging market and the business really evolving, right? It is important that we are looking at change very frequently. And we also have disruptive models coming in, right? It is, if you look at the Uber model, right? They disrupted, and the whole taxi business actually got changed, right? The Apple story, right? We know it's a great innovation story. So all of these are really disruptive, and even in the financial services, we see there's a lot of disruption coming in through the fintechs, right, and the startups coming in. So this is actually constantly kind of driving the traditional legacy companies to think out of the box and to be agile and innovative. So it's something which many of us actually want it, but it is tough. You need a focus for it. You need actually ensure that you plan for it, do it in a really planned, disruptive way, creative way, and it requires a structure, right? Even agility requires a structure. It can't be one day you're suddenly agile, right? So and what we see also is that, I mean, some of the stats are put in the slide if you see here. So what we also see that 10% of the high performers, if I see who are financially very good and doing very good on revenue and profitability, 30% of them actually display agile characteristics. So that means that agile really is playing a big role towards innovation and for the performance of the company itself. And it helps in the, as written here, speed to market and also bringing in what the client expectations are into it, iterative fashion, right? And that's why, as I said, it's very important to adopt unique practices, unique operating models, new way of working, so that we are able to reimagine, right, the way we are delivering to a client and really execute on a scale, right? So that's the key message I have, right, Renu, and the importance of agility and innovation.
Hey, thanks, Anu, and that does provide a great insight into the topic itself. Now, moving on to the conversation, what do you see as critical step for creating the right environment for rapid product innovation? Because agility is often associated with time to market and product development and bringing it quickly to the market. So what do you see as key steps?
Yes. So that so basically, I was struggling a bit to come with 5 because 5 really key steps, because I wanted to kind of narrow it down and not kind of have a laundry list of things, because a lot of other things are also very, very important if you really look at it. But I wanted to really look at which are the most important aspects we need to be looking at when we are talking about innovation, talking about agility, right? So the first foremost, what I've seen work in my whole career is really to become more client-centric, right? So how do we drive outcomes for the client, engage with the client more and more, rather than just focusing on our own internal processes, but look at the customer journey, and start building, delivering, operating, and supporting based on the client journeys, right? And I've seen some of the organizations actually aligning themselves to the business processes and the client journeys, right? So the organization model itself, the team structure is aligning to the customer journey, and that really resonates well, right? Because then you're having a 360-degree view of the client, and then enhancing the client experience, because you are actually living that journey every day, right, through your teams. And the effort required to align to the client outcome then becomes very easier, right? Because what the client is looking for. For instance, a restaurant, I've seen some of the restaurants are looking at how do they improve the whole drive-through experience of a customer, right? So deliver fast and maybe not have the meat faster. So again, in this context, again, having cross-functional teams looking at the entire the business process of when the car is coming in and what is the experience there, how much time it is taking. So basically breaking it up into multiple journeys, sub journeys, and really looking at what can be optimized in each of these stages, and what creative ways of reducing the overall time and experience for the client is what helps, right? So that's why it's very important to be very, very client centric. And I've also seen in one of my assignments, I was actually leading the acceptance testing for one of the US clients, and I was at on-site working with them, and it was a very critical milestone for us and for the client. But there were technical issues in the solution, while they were not like real high priority defects. But then the way we actually showed them successfully the end-to-end journey, and the way the way we could actually showcase that these are the top critical journeys, and these work, and these actually will helped us get the acceptance. So basically that's the importance of the alignment to client journey. And then the second aspect is the time to market, right? The time to value. So what I've seen is that more than the cost, it's very important to align to the time element to it, because it's very competitive. You can't keep on ensuring that you will deliver high quality with so many features and all, but you have to be really agile and keep delivering and keep innovating, have MVPs, and really kind of constantly deliver to the client, right? So that's the second aspect, the time to value. What are you delivering and what value you're creating in each of those sprints? And now with DevSecOps coming in, how do you integrate security? How do you integrate operations? All of that becomes very, very important. And how do you deliver all of it in a iterative model, in a continuous integration and continuous delivery model becomes very, very important. So time becoming more important than the cost element of it. While cost is also important, but once you reduce the time, the cost will automatically happen, right? So that's what it is. And we've seen that in multiple industries, right? Tesla is a classic story, how they constantly innovate. Then I've seen the fashion industry, Zara. I don't know how many of you know. I know there are ladies here, so I'm sure they resonate with Zara. So Zara believes in coming to the market very fast. So they do not kind of manufacture loads and loads of the models and then come to the market. They actually do an MVP model. They come with few samples and try and test it in the market itself, whether that product is good, and then look at scaling it, right? So that's a fantastic model of iterative model and really time to value, right? So, and then the third aspect is the simplicity of it, right? The design for simplicity. Apple phone is a classic example of simplicity, right? And that's what actually got the credibility for the phone, right? Simple features and easy to use is something which the consumers look for. So how do you design something which is really simple and easy to use? That's the third element. Fourth is agile, right? So how do you really build in agile practices as a mindset itself, not actually as one of the project followed delivery development model, but it is agile end to end. It's not just about development cycle. How do I do an iterative development, but it's more of how do you scale agile and how do you bring in agile practices across the teams and across the programs, across the portfolio, and large end-to-end programs I've seen. They're delivering with agile, the scrum of scrums or team of teams model, and then kind of really delivering at scale. That's what is important, and how do you inculcate the culture, value, principles of agile, and you really are able to deliver quickly, right? So that's the fourth element of agile at scale. And then the last but very, very important is for agile is the team autonomy and collaboration, right? So all of you are aware how important it is to connect with the teams and to deliver as a team. The team is empowered. There is no manager who's assigning jobs, but it is a team who decides, and then they kind of take it forward. So in that way, yes, it's very important that culture of innovation getting built through collaboration, through autonomy, and also having those values, agile values, getting inculcated, and really looking at how do we really empower the teams, right? And not worry about the failures. Failures will happen as we go, but then really encourage them and move on. So that is I would say the fifth element of driving agility. So those are the 5 things I would say which are very important. I took some time to explain because it's very critical for us to understand each one of these, look at how do we build this end to end, right, into our life cycle, into the agile way of working, and really bring in the change. This is very critical for us to adopt this, right, for each of our projects.
So Anu, thanks, that's great. And in fact, I see in the center of it says driving agility, and that is what the leader must be doing. And I'm just thinking of your picture as a runner, right? So it all speaks for itself. So agility is in the mind. Let's move on.
Exactly.
So next question. More and more digital initiatives are following DevOps lifecycle. You did mention of DevOps. So is it like overlapping, or where does Agile fit into this whole DevOps journey?
So I look at DevOps as an extension of Agile and lean processes, right? So basically effective usage of tools and technology and continuous delivery and integration. That is DevOps, right? Integration, development, continuous build, continuous release, continuous testing. So that is DevOps, right? It's more implementation, a tooling implementation of the end-to-end life cycle. But Agile is more a way of working and also a way of bringing in agility into the whole way of development itself. Breaking the requirements into smaller chunks and delivering as you go and more iterative. And in fact, DevOps can be used even in waterfall, right? Nobody's stopping us to use, but it's more effective in Agile because the release cycles are small. So it's more useful to have DevOps there, right? So in that way, I find both of them are complementary and they're helping each other while both are different. And I've seen projects which have adopted Agile but not adopted DevOps, and also the reverse, right? And I've seen projects which are doing just continuous, maybe testing only, but they're not doing continuous release management, right? So I mean, both of them can exist together, and yep, that's a powerful combination if you can have both together. And I've seen engagements really successful, delivering within days, with implementing both, right? Both Agile and DevOps, and really iterative way of working, iterative way of the releases, as well as managing the whole releases up to the operations, up to managing the releases through DevOps. That's very effective model. And we're seeing more and more projects actually adopting this, and more clients wanting to adopt this.
Hey, wonderful, Anu. So my takeaway is that Agile is a way of working, whereas in DevSecOps, you have kind of covered the life cycle of different steps of dev life cycle. Is that right?
Absolutely. It's a more tooling implementation of the end-to-end delivery model.
Excellent. Let's move on to, with all these Agile projects going on, what are the best practices in Agile project teams? And I'm sure all this driving agility cannot happen without collaboration. So how do you practice collaboration within the teams?
Yes. Collaboration is my, in fact, favorite topic, I would say, because with the current virtual way of working, collaboration becomes even more important. And there are a lot of tools which are out there, which really bring in, which actually helps collaborative way of working, like Trello is there, and then there are a lot of other tools which WebEx itself helps in collaboration. So there are a lot of other tools which are used today in combination with the project tools, right? So I put down some of the best practices here, which I've seen. There are more, but then I try to recollect some of them and then put here. So first thing I found, which is very impactful, when I visit a floor, an Agile floor, what stands out to me is the visualization of it, right? So the Kanban boards, the dashboard, which really talks about what is their time, how many tickets are pending, or maybe how many sprints, how many user stories are pending, whatever, right? Whatever they're building, it can be design build or an AMS engagement. So really standing out is a dashboard, the visualization of your workflows, your own, how many you're yet to complete, your schedules, and also your strategy itself. What are the user stories which are pending, and so that people could look at it and see, oh, this is not there, let's add this also there. So visualization is very important. The second one, which is more where physical way of working, then I've seen the Agile workspaces really impactful, and with their collab spaces and open environment to actually collaborate, and also looking at having a team corner. So all of that actually is now becoming virtual. The same concept is actually getting implemented in the virtual way also. And what I've also seen is the end-to-end platform. We talked about DevOps, we talked about Agile. How do we have the right tooling to interconnect all of it, to integrate all of it, right from the requirements to the operations, as well as your collaboration, integrate all of it, so that you have one view of the entire program, and you're able to govern it well, and you're able to see where are the issues very easily. Metrics, definitely, it's no-brainer. Everybody believes in that. Metrics are something which are very, very important. Unless you measure what you're doing, you can't improve, right? You don't know where you are, and you don't know where are the issues, right? So that's very, very important. We'll speak a bit about metrics, I think, in the next slide also. So yeah, so basically the burn down charts or defect density, client satisfaction, all of those are important. And we, in fact, I've also seen one thing really help is measuring the delivery maturity itself. How is your agile maturity? How is your DevOps maturity? Are you following the right principles? Are you following the right culture of agile or not? So doing a constant assessment of your maturity of your development model is very, very important. Again, when you measure, you will know where you are and you can improve. There are a lot of assessment questionnaires out there in the open web as well, which you can pick up and then use it in your projects. I found that to be very good, actually, in terms of really understanding where what is your baseline and then improving from there. And then we have the we spoke about MVP, right? So the culture has to be that, right? I mean, how do you co-innovate, co-create along with the client? Really pick up the user stories and showcase every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, showcase and build as you go and fail fast, right? So all that, right? That's very important. Now I've seen it to be successful when you really follow that model. And last, I guess, the retrospectives. I've seen projects fail because of not doing retrospectives regularly. The same mistakes are getting repeated every sprint or every release because they've not learned from the previous cycle and basically inculcated those into the next sprint or cycle. So that's also very, very important. So those are some of the best practices I feel which are very, very critical for us to follow for the success of Agile.
So Anu, what strikes me more here is the innovating like a startup, MVP-based fail fast. And many more and more the venture funds these days are asking for your project plan in a very MVP-like manner. What is your MVP 1, MVP 2? And what level of financials you will get to, what level of team size you will get to based on those MVP plans. So like you rightly explained, so these are the best practices in Agile project teams. Let's move on. And one misconception or you can say process step in Agile is that the whole team works together, right? So while there may be different roles within Agile team, but there is no, it's, people say that we started with waterfall, we introduced independent testing. In Agile DevOps projects, there is no independent testing. So how do you ensure project product and application quality in Agile DevOps model? And because there is essence is the cycle time and you need to do it quick, keeping those timelines, you still want to manage the project quality, product quality. So if you can share your views on that.
So I've always believed that quality is not just a stage of the life cycle, but quality has to be built in right from the beginning, right? Right from the requirements till the acceptance testing. So every stage, quality is very, very important, and it has to be thought of upfront in the beginning itself, and really strive towards achieving that. So in Agile projects, the best thing I like is that you define the acceptance testing criteria right in the beginning. So it is not that there is no quality focus. There is utmost quality focus in Agile. While we can say that there's no independent testing, but then it is the job of everybody in the team, right? We do ensuring that the acceptance test criteria are met, right? So there is a single focus. There is alignment, upfront what you need to make the system work for. So in that way, it is very clear. And I feel if that is followed, definitely you will achieve higher quality, right? So one is having those tests upfront and really focusing on it. And I've also seen test-driven development model, right? I mean, which is identifying tests early and make those tests work, right? And making the product more and more better. And then other concepts like testing early. So, I mean, if you look at Agile and DevOps, DevOps actually helps us do continuous testing. So that means you are driving quality always. So you make a small fix, you can test again, right? So you don't need to wait for the team to be available and then test and all that. So all the DevOps actually helps us test more rather than less, I would say. And irrespective of who does it, it doesn't matter, right? So whether it's done by the independent team or done by the DevOps tool, or by a developer, but what is important is the focus on quality and how it is being met, right? So, and the culture of that, right, being built, across the life cycle.
So got the point, Anu, but still the question remains. So is there a V model or no? So when we, in independent testing in those years, if you remember, we worked together.
Yes.
And we preached a V model to the clients, right? That, you have left side of the V as, software life cycle, and right side of the V doing validation in every single step that you do. Is that V followed in Agile DevOps, or is it the left side of the V which is happening with more agility, or what is your visualization of it?
So, so basically, I see. So it actually depends on the way the release is planned. So there are multiple sprints, right? And then there is a release. So in the sprints, yes, there is a tester. I've seen the role of testing hasn't gone away, by the by, right? So I see very high demand for testers even today, right? So it has not gone down, right? So that means that the independent tester still remains, even in an agile environment. This person is part of the sprint. That's all, right? I mean, the focus remains, the independent testing focus remains. And then there is a clean release, which is there, where again, you have to do the system integration, you have to do the acceptance, all of that remains even now, right? So that is again pretty much done by the independent testing team. So the role remains, the focus remains. It's only the way you're doing it, right? Maybe the V model is a smaller V, right? And then you're culminating into the release testing and system integration, all of it, which again has independent testing, proper V, right? So I don't see a change. There's a lot more focus on automation, which is very nice. There's a lot more focus on testing early in the cycle, because the tester is involved right at the beginning, part of the discussions, the sprint planning, all of it. So the testing happens early. There's more automation so that you can test more. So I think it is the best of both worlds, as I see, right? So the focus is there.
And frankly, the topic that you are talking is beyond software, really. You are talking agility, driving innovation, and that is really the design you're talking is not just only software design, but also even automobile design or any design from that perspective. So
yes,
so get your point. Thank you. Let's move on. So there are multiple methodologies you must have seen. People talk about Scrum, Kanban, Scrumban, and Extreme, and many others. So any experience sharing on that? Where what is suited, or which one you recommend? So would be happy to hear that.
So I've seen more of Scrum, actually. Most of the projects which I've seen follow Scrum, and that's what is widely used as well as an agile methodology, is what I've seen, because it is very simple, right, and easy to use, and drives higher performance. It also takes advantage of the team culture, and then the sense of achievement, and then it also has feedback mechanism, retrospectives, all of it, ownership given to the teams. So I like the model, actually, and I think it has 5 I think they call it values or something. So basically the guide lists, I think, 5 values, which is I think commitment, courage, focus, openness, and respect. So those values are really commendable and fantastic, right, to evolve and really adopt. And that maybe is a success, is the success of this agile, Scrum model, which is there. And if I look at it at an enterprise level, then SAFe is getting followed, right? The scaled agile framework is getting followed in a more larger way, because that has more workflows and implementing all the agile practices at an enterprise scale. So the both of them exist. You can have a Scrum and then a SAFe model at a program level. So and both of them really working together. And I've seen projects really successful if you adopt that culture, right? The values which they talk about. if they really adopt those, then it's highly successful.
Hey, thank you so much, Anu. Let's just come closer to the end of the topic. So you spoke partially about metrics, and if you can summarize that, you mentioned the importance of metrics in agile projects. So what are the key metrics do you recommend?
So yeah, there are many metrics which are there, but what I saw really help is these 5 of them, right? So which are listed here. So these are self-explanatory. So basically focus on productivity, focus on quality, focusing on the predictability part of it, and then the value part of it, and the stability, right? So these are the 5 areas which I picked up are important from a measurement standpoint, and then the metrics around those, right? Whether it's burn down charts or defect efficiency or the velocity part of it, or satisfaction, both from the customer side as well as the team, right? So those are some of the things I would say we have to measure mandatorily, right? These 5 are very important, and it will give you an indication of what is the health of the project and where you need to focus on.
So this is interesting. You say you measure the stability of agile project with team motivation. And how do you, so is it just that annual engagement survey, or what is this engagement score?
So I've seen multiple, but by stability, I mean stability of the project, right? Stability of the project.
Okay.
The project is stable as long as the team is stable, right? So,
okay.
So because if you keep on having a churn, then it's tough, right? To build in the culture again and again, because it's a teamwork, right? Finally, agile actually drives around teamwork, collaboration, the way you connect and the way you give activities to different team members and then execute as a team. So this becomes very important. I've seen multiple ways of doing this. And I liked one idea. So end of the week or end of the day, basically you keep a bottle of marbles and you ask the team to actually select one, right? So it can be red, amber, green, or whatever colors you can choose. But that gives the sentiment of the team, right? How did the week go for them? So it's not a formal survey, formal mechanism of looking at it on a yearly basis and kind of driving a lot of engagement activities. It's more of on the job. When I am executing the project, what is the mood of the team, motivation of the team, and as a team working on it, again, agile, right? As a team working on it and really improving on it. If there is an issue there, they get to know somebody has selected a red marble, for instance, right? Then they get to know, or you get more red marbles than green marbles. Then that's an indication of the team is not motivated, right? So this is one way. I mean, there are multiple such things. If you search the net, there are a lot of such very interesting way of measuring the team motivation, right? You can do that virtually also. You can have a mechanism to register that through a vote, maybe virtually, and then see how it is, right? So it's a weekly or maybe a bi-weekly or a monthly, depending on the size and and the duration of the project, and then there's a constant measurement, health of the team, basically.
That's great, Anu. I really appreciate. So you mentioned about a couple of tools. So any specific recommendation on tools?
Yeah, so you talk about project management here. I think everybody can answer this. That so Jira is used, right? Typically for most of the agile projects I've seen. Yesterday in one of the conversations, somebody was saying for AMS engagements, ServiceNow is a good tool to use. That's also something which can be used. So I mean, the tooling can differ based on the customer you're working for, or your project, what it is adopting, right? I mean, it's more a question of how do you really measure those metrics, which we saw earlier. But yeah, Jira is something which is really good. And then if you look at from a DevOps standpoint, I've seen Jenkins really very popular. It's an open source. And it connects the whole thing, right from the release management to testing tools to the pipeline, right? The CI/CD pipeline. So in that way, it is very effective.
Hey, thanks, Anu. Now, a few questions as we usually ask about the work life, because this session is One, to feature you as a role model, but also as how you manage work life, right? So let me come to a few areas, and then we'll also open it up to the participants for questions. So I'm seeing both sides kind of inputs. Some people even say that today women have so much opportunity that diversity driven organizations, I'm hearing people say that men don't get opportunity because of women. On the other hand, if you look at the women's side of the story, you see there is so much struggle before you actually get the seat on the table. So what's your view? I mean, it's been enabler or inhibitor? What has been for you?
Definitely enabler, I would say. Surely I feel being a woman is a strength, actually, for me, at least whatever I've seen, and whatever I've seen of women who have actually made it. What made it work for them is their strength, right? The strength of the women in terms of their multitasking capabilities, in terms of their adaptability, clarity of thoughts. They're called as crisis masters, right? Or crisis managers, right? So in that way, the qualities women have are very, very unique, I would say. And it's only a question of hanging in there for that, maybe that period where you're having kids or the family is getting set up. I think one should not lose focus, I would say, and really, go after it. And there will be a stage where you will have, you will feel that, oh, I mean, I can't handle this. Let me actually leave one of them, right? I mean, but then I think that's not what what we should be doing, right? I mean, we should really go for it. And I've seen things automatically fall in place. I also had the time when there was no support system available at home, and had to struggle. And there was this situation where I had to decide. But then never did I actually decide that I will leave my job. Right? That was never a decision point for me. Right? So in that way, yeah, I mean, it's a clarity of thoughts you have, and it's a way of thinking of options, and it will fall in place. Your family will support, you will get a support system, you will actually make things work if you really stick on and kind of see what other options you have, right? And I've also seen that it's a very rewarding career, if you stick on and really go after it. But definitely it doesn't come easy, right? I mean, it's valid for men and women, in terms of the everyday challenges, or the passion you have to bring in, and the way you pick up opportunities, and the way you get the choices, and not lose those choices. I mean, if you ask me, I just picked up every opportunity which comes my way, right? I mean, if I felt that it's actually helping me in terms of going into a different role, learning from it, and really helping me really go to the next level, I just picked it up. That's all. No afterthought, right? I mean, whether it'll make me work harder, or it'll what will happen to my family. I mean, that's a second thought. I mean, that's something which will anyway have to manage, right?
So
But
I know
then
that's so interesting. There was a time 15 years back when I posed the same question to my family. कि यार अब छोड़ के सब अब बहुत हो गया, like so
yes,
you know what answer I got? That you'll not be happy sitting at home, so please don't.
exactly. Exactly. So
Okay.
that was never a choice for me, right?
Hmm.
So it was never a choice that we sit at home, right? I mean, and also I think it helps once you have the clarity of thought, and the passion to make it work. Everything falls in place, and you get those connects, you get those managers who are helpful, and really important. In terms of really working on your strengths, right? So you should look at what are your strengths, and build on them, right? So not just do the work as it comes, but then really build on them, and really continuously learn as well, right? So it's important to build your skills, build your brand, also, and what I realized also that you have to constantly keep reading, right? So reading is also a habit which I picked up. I do that every day, almost 1 hour every day. I do that. In fact, I also finished my AI certification last month, and I'm picking up the cloud one next Monday is my exam. So yeah, and a lot of focus on coaching. I coach women. That is also really very interesting, exciting for me to get to know, to learn from them actually. And the most important thing I would say, I know Renu alluded to it, was which energizes me every day is my fitness goals, right? So I do 15,000 steps. I mean, I have a goal for 15,000 steps and 11 kilometers walk or run every day, right? So that is something which actually, when I finish it, really creates a lot of energy. I mean, it's not actually leaving your energy, but then it's actually gaining energy, right? And then with the calmness of yoga and meditation added to it after you do that intense workout, then you're set for the day, right? And even in the end of the day, you are energetic, you are kind of really active, right? So that is something I found to be very helpful for me. And the energy and the passion which you see now, maybe some of it is because of that.
Yeah, I see you've answered all that I wanted. Only thing I would like to add is that over the time, I've become very, very thankful of all that good exists around us, and the great managers and sponsors that we have been blessed with. I think I can see that case with you, with me, and whoever I see as this set around, like if there are people who would say that they don't have the best in their career, they're probably struggling somewhere with not having the right ecosystem around. So I think, and that certainly is one closing thought from my side as well, that keep changing till you find the right place. The world doesn't end there. So
exactly.
Yeah, so great talking to you. It's I just felt I didn't feel like I was hosting a session. I just felt like I was conversing with a great friend. So thank you so much, Anu. And there are some final closing thoughts from you. So do you want to wrap it up, and then we have some questions from folks here?
Yeah, I put them here. If you see, yes, yeah. So basically, I think believe in yourself, right, team. It is your own. You yourself are actually building, whether it's your career, whether it's your personal life. You are the master for it, right? Look within yourself. What is it which you want to be known as, right? What is it which you want to become, right? It's all about choices, and you have to make that choice. If you are sitting and sleeping late till 9 o'clock, it is your choice, right? So that's the priority you've given for yourself, right? So that is what is your, wish, right? So I think the 24 hours were the same, but then I am able to do a lot more things now because I prioritize them, right? So I added fitness, I added reading, I added yoga, all that, right? How, right? It's the same 24 hours, right? So it's the priority which you give to it. And also the other thing which I feel, which you should believe in yourself is each of you have a brand, which you should build, right? Think of what are you really good at, and work on it, right? I mean, I'm sure you will do well. You are doing well maybe already, and you will do even more better if you really focus on your brand, right? I mean, what is my strength? You should work on those strengths, right? Second one I spoke about already, building on your skill, right? Skill, a career, your own personality, or your leadership skills, all of it, right? I mean, all of it is together, and be the best, right? I mean, do not become an average performer, but really strive to become the best, right? That's very important. And the last one, yeah, I've spoken a bit about it, is me time. I really ensure I don't compromise on that, right? So my husband keeps telling me that कुछ भी हो जाए ना तुम running नहीं छोड़ोगे, right? So I mean that kind of thing. Sorry if some of you don't understand Hindi. So yeah, I think it's about the passion and what you think you want for yourself, and make an impact, right? I mean, we pick up some small causes or connect with people, help people. I mean, we are lucky ones, right? So how can we really help others as well, right? In the process is also very critical. Yeah. So last but I would say recharge and enjoy life fully, right? So that's what is the crux of it. Please enjoy, right? Life.
Yeah, I'll
life.
have my co-directors weigh in. I think Bani and Saraswati both are around, and any questions and interactions from the colleagues here. Thank you so much, Anu. Really enjoyed. It seemed like a conversation and not a talk, so I really enjoyed. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
much
for inviting me.
Radha, and thank you, Renu. I had a couple of questions. Saraswati here. Anuradha, you spoke about, the first question is, you spoke about how a constant agile team is very important, right? And then, increasingly organizations are very focused on internal mobility. And so whenever there is, a new position that gets opened up, obviously you want to bet on your internal folks a lot more. So that also results in some kind of churn where people keep moving around agile teams, right? So what do you think is the balance and what is your perspective on that?
Yeah, so if it's a planned movement, I think yes, one has to keep moving, right? We can't be in the same team
Right.
for years together, right? So you have to keep moving, but proper knowledge management is important, right? So what kind of project related repositories you have, what kind of backup planning you have. So I think that's boiling down to the project manager, right? So in terms of ensuring that the right practices are getting followed, in terms of people management practices are getting followed, right? So I would never say that do not move across. I myself have moved across. Yeah.
Sure. And rather, the next question that I had is more on the work-life balance and the time that you spoke about, right? I think it's very good that you're able to make time for reading, for fitness. Some of those are still dream goals for most of us, right? We don't get to get time out, maybe because of our own prioritization or whatever. But what are the things that you give up, right? Because like you said, it is 24 hours for everyone. So what are the things that you have given up to ensure that you have time for these priorities?
See, I think we spend a lot of time, we waste a lot of time, I would say, right? We waste a lot of time in general net browsing, right? Or maybe chatting for hours together, or maybe troubling our kids. They don't need so much time. You kind of policing them, right? So I think it's a question of looking at yourself again, right? And seeing where am I actually creating the maximum impact, right? And then working on it. I've seen some people actually create a calendar for themselves, not for the official part of it alone, but for your waking hours, right? Or even for your sleeping hours, right? It's important to sleep also, right? So it's not that 24 hours means you sleep only 2 hours, right? So you also need to make time, ensure you have that 7 or 8 hours of sleep, right? So I mean, having a calendar helps a lot in terms of what did you do the whole day? What time did you get up? What did you do after that, right? I mean, not up to very small level, but every hour, what did you do, right? And you then automatically get to see what are those activities which are a waste. Basically lean way of working is what I would prescribe, right? But I guess when the kids are young, it is tough, right, to actually plan that way, no? So then you have to definitely spend more time with your children, right? So that stage, I would not say that this will work. I, in fact, could bring in this only after I crossed 40, right, age of 40. So while I should have picked up few of those before that, but then I only actually started all of this only after, I mean, in a focused manner, I would say, right after after at least my daughter was in the colleges, that kind of a thing, right? So that gave me the time.
Sure, Anuradha. That's definitely helpful. Thank you so much for the session again. Opening it up to others for questions too.
Hi, Anuradha.
Hi.
Please go ahead. Thank you. Hi, this is Vani. I mean, the talk was, I mean, the session is so energizing, and all the examples that you gave is like we can relate, and so good, especially on the work-life balance, and on the project aspect, a lot of things that you mentioned on, using Agile methodology, and also on the Scrum, and how we can, get our team engagement scores. That was pretty interesting that all of us can go and imbibe, like right now it was like that. So one question I really wanted to understand and ask you from your experience, like how do with these methodologies, right? At times you don't get management buy-in for everything, like the top leadership buy-in, like C-suite buy-in for anything that you want to present. At the same time, you also want to keep your people below you happy from a change management standpoint. So how do you balance both of it to get that equilibrium?
Yeah,
is my question.
So you're talking specifically about Agile, implementation of Agile in DevOps?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so I think everything has to be done with a ROI in picture, right? It has to benefit the project finally. It can't be that it's a long running AMS engagement and you're trying to maybe bring in Agile, which may not be useful there, right? I mean, Agile also costs you, some effort, right? In terms of, or DevOps also, you will need to invest tools and all that, right? So there has to be an ROI out of it. And we spoke about client outcomes, right? So it has to tie down finally to client outcomes. What is the outcome you're trying to achieve through this? What is the business process improvement you're trying to bring in through this, right? So that becomes very critical. Then your case becomes very strong, right? Then nobody can debate, isn't it? Once you go with a business case in terms of this is the benefit, this is what I'm improving, this is what I will set up, and this is how I will organize my team, then nobody is going to debate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, got that. Thank you so much.
And that also gives us the clarity also, right? As also the clarity of what is our intention, right? Finally, to actually go for this, right? So, what do you want to achieve through this? And it gives a sense of achievement, right? Once we finish it, you will actually feel that, yeah, I mean, whatever I planned, I got, right? So that's why it's important to have the clarity before we start itself.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Hi, Anuradha.
Hi, Naresh.
It was truly inspiring and highly raised the levels of intellectual curiosity listening to you, Anuradha. Once again, I was hearing you earlier when we were in Infosys. After some time gap, I'm again hearing. Truly amazing. my question to you is, Anuradha, while we are working on the product development strategy, as an agile team, maybe a scrum master agile team and all, how much we need to know the product go-to-market strategy in simple terms. Who are the people the other side are going to use these product features, how they are going to use, when they are going to use, how much they are going to use. This kind of product go-to-market product strategy, how much truly an agile team members need to know regularly, Anuradha?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what is very important is that, I mean, ultimately you're implementing something to bring in a change, right? In terms of whatever it is, right? Whether it is improvement in the business process or really improving maybe the number of transactions or reducing the overall cycle time of the release, whatever, right? It is very important the team is aware of this, and they actually align to it. We spoke about the 5 steps, and in that, one of the steps is client centricity, right? How do you drive client outcomes, and how do you align to them, right? So it is very important that we know what the client, the customer journeys are, what is their business process, and which is the business process where we are working on to bring in the change, right? Whatever the client is implementing, then it becomes more relevant and it will be more acceptable also for the user finally once it is implemented. Or else it's a piece of code and you're just looking at what is the technical feature I'm implementing. That doesn't help, right? The larger journey and the larger end-to-end picture. And I've seen projects fail because of that. The team builds something, then takes to the client, takes it to the user, and it fails at the user acceptance, right? Because they miss that link of end-to-end picture. They miss that, right? So extremely important, and it's very important that the team is aware of it and aligns the client journeys with their code, and they should know what is it which they are achieving through their piece of work.
Sure. Thanks, Anuradha. And based on your vast experience, while the business owners are going to share the planned value during the beginning of the iteration, they will share the planned value. End of the iteration or end of the week, they are going to measure the actual value. How are they going to measure the actual true value being measured, delivered? What are some of the insights about the true measurement of value being delivered week after week, something like that, Radha?
So value again is relative, right? Relative to that implementation. Value is not a generic value, right? So value is in terms of the business outcome which the client wants to achieve. It can be that this new application has to support maybe 1 million users, right? Earlier, it was supporting maybe 20,000 users, but they want to move to 20,000. So has it achieved that value? So that's the value which it is creating, right? In terms of scalability is the value there, right? Performance values are there in terms of today, maybe it's at a 90% reliability. How do I achieve that 99% reliability? So that's a value, right? So you work towards improving the performance of the system, implement new solutions, new memory management, all of that, so that you are achieving that 99%, right? So that is the value which you are able to create. So basically baseline first, what is the current state, and then define what you want to achieve, and then measure the value is what I would say.
Sure. Thanks, Anuradha. Thank you so much.
Greetings, Anuradha, ma'am. I have also attended your session on Agile leadership while you were taking a session in Will. And I am currently pursuing computer engineering, and I am about to kickstart my 3rd year of engineering. So I just wanted to ask you, like, how does this 20-year-old actually make an impact who is about to kickstart her career? Because the road ahead feels, a lot, difficult, and there's a lot to be covered.
Absolutely. I mean, I really envy you, right? I mean, you are in a phase where there's so many opportunities, right, out there. When I started, I mean, I struggled to get the job which I wanted, right? So, I mean, the opportunities were very limited. Now you have immense opportunities. You have immense career options to pick up, and you have immense learning opportunities as well, right? Well, I mean, there is data, there is cloud, and then AI and whatnot, right? I mean, you can define your career path based on that, right? And everywhere Agile is used, right? Whichever technical area which pick up, right? Agile way of working is very important. How do you really bring in more innovation, think creatively? How do you actually look at really standing out? I spoke about be the best. Yes, definitely. Each job you pick up, how do you be the best? How do you really constantly innovate, right? Whatever you're doing, right? I mean, really look at doing it differently is what I would say, right? That is very important. It's not just a job. You have to do it the best.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I would also like to thank Women Who Code Hyderabad for bringing Anuradha ma'am up and for this wonderful session.
Thank you.
So I have a question too. Am I audible?
Yes.
So hi, this is Richa. I'm sorry for the background noise. So my question is that when it comes to agile maturity, so a lot of organizations have, you can say hi. So a lot of organizations have agile. So my question is around how often should the agile maturity should be measured by the companies? Because I've seen it's very abrupt. Some project managers might run agile maturity for their own projects, but throughout organizations, throughout projects, what should be the standard frequency, I would say?
So I've seen maybe 6 months to 1 year, right? I mean, you can define it, because once you do an assessment, you will anyway need time to implement those, right? That will also take time. So I would say once in 6 months, and if it's a large program, once in a year is what I would say, right? So it may not be done very frequently. Things are not going to change, right? So much, right? So, but it's important to do it at various phases of the project so that you are ensuring that you are not losing out on those principles, right? That's very important.
That makes sense. Thank you so much. And there were quite a lot of insights that I've taken. Thanks.
Thank you.
I think we've already crossed few minutes past and people have started leaving. Any of you have further questions, want to interact with Anu? She's very approachable. You can contact her on her LinkedIn. She's Anuradha. Right. So Anu, it was really a pleasure. Like I said, I didn't feel like I was hosting a session. I was conversing with a friend. Thanks for being there, and appreciate your contributions to Women Who Code. We'll see you again. Thank you everyone for.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and all of you have a wonderful weekend, I would say rather.
Yeah, run like Ranu. Thank you everyone.
And focus
Thank
on
you.
yourself. No, get that me time for yourself for the weekend.
Sure.
Great.
Thanks.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.